So if people are preaching the evil of Judaism, it's evil fruit. They don't have any good fruit at all. Jesus said in Matthew 7 that it was a narrow gateway to life eternal, but the gateway to destruction was very wide, and there is a connection to the Jews. I'm looking at source, and this is where Jesus said, go in through the narrow gateway. The road that leads to destruction is a very wide road, and the gateway to it is open ground. Now she has a note down at the bottom, and she says, because there was open ground, it came about. That was a military engagement. Page 29. Then she says, a Jewish deed of gift of property, namely open ground. Jesus was preaching to people who had Judaism in their midst, oral tradition of the Pharisees from Babylon. Then he goes on talking about the narrow gateway, and he says few people find it, but he makes a reference to a Jewish deed of gift of property, namely open ground. Well, it's not a very strong connection, but there is a connection, because then Jesus said, few people find the narrow way, few. Now we all knew this all our lives when we heard this parable. We knew there were few, we knew there were many on the other way. It kind of went in one ear and out the other, but we knew it. Let us sink into our hearts. Because then Jesus says, beware of false prophets. They will come to you in sheep's clothing, good Christians, good pastors, good seminary leaders, good professors, good Sunday school teachers, good elders of the church if you're in the Assemblies of God. I don't know what the Baptists do. They come to you, oh yes, wonderful Christians, but inwardly they're vicious, hungry wolves. You will have no trouble recognizing them by the consequences of their action. Now the actions are not good deeds. These are the actions. Does anyone pick grapes from thorn bushes, or figs from thistles? Nice fruit grows on good trees, but evil fruit grows on rotten trees. Now listen to this. Evil fruit can't grow on a good tree, and nice fruit can't grow on a rotten tree. So in other words, Jesus is saying, these teachers who are teaching Judaism, which did abound at that time, because who was he speaking to? He was speaking to the Pharisees and the Sadducees. He was speaking to the people who were listening. And he says, a nice fruit can't grow on a rotten tree. Evil fruit can't grow on a good tree. So if people are preaching the evil of Judaism, it's evil fruit. They don't have any good fruit at all. And Jesus said, every tree that doesn't produce nice fruit is cut down and thrown out into the fire. In the same way, you will recognize them by what they produce. So if they produce Judaism, they're not producing good fruit at all. Yet we know many people who did get saved and even filled with the Spirit, But where they are at today, I don't know. I haven't been around those churches for quite a few years. Now in Luke 3, John the Baptist is speaking to the Pharisees and Sadducees, and he called them the offspring of vipers. And he also said, when Jesus comes, when the Messiah comes, he will burn the chaff. His wheat he will keep. Source reads it like this: he's got a broom and is going to sweep everything clear. If you're rubbish, look out. Don't you think somebody who's spouting Judaism, that these are the people of God, is preaching rubbish? You heard what we said about 1 Peter and the true people of God? They're not the true people of God. You're saying they are. They're preaching rubbish. And this is what Source reads it: he's got a broom and is going to sweep everything clean. If you're rubbish, if you're preaching rubbish, which you are, if you're preaching Judaism, look out. You'll be swept out of the door and thrown into the fire. What fire? Hell. This applies to all the preachers of Judaism in the churches. Judaism has nothing to do with Moses. Judaism is the Kabbalah, the Gemara, the Zohar, the Mishnah, the oral tradition that Jesus condemned, that Paul knew about. Because Paul sat at the feet of Gamaliel, who was the son-in-law of Hillel, who was a noted sage who taught the Kabbalah. Paul knew all about it. No wonder he took such a strong stand. In the Psalms 2 it says, kiss the Son, Jesus Christ, lest he be angry. Kiss Jesus. Don't kiss Israel. Don't kiss the Judaism. That Israel has nothing to do with Jesus Christ. Judaism has nothing to do with Jesus Christ. You have one or the other. You can't have both. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry, and you perish from the way. So, what about you? Are you kissing the Son, S-O-N, or are you kissing Israel? Are you kissing Judaism? You can't kiss both. Even about wealth, Jesus said you cannot serve God and mammon. You cannot serve Jesus Christ and Satan. You cannot serve anything to do with Satan. You can only serve Jesus Christ. He says you're rubbish if you don't kiss him, if you kiss Israel. Somebody said to me quite a while ago on YouTube how that they were horrified when they were in a Christian gathering and Israel was mentioned, and everybody went almost out of their minds applauding Israel. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry. How can you kiss Israel? That has nothing to do with the Son of God. That rejected him and killed him. I don't mean those actual people, but they did in the days of the Gospels. The descendants of Abraham killed Jesus. These are not descendants of Abraham, but the same religion out of Babylon. So where are you? Kiss Jesus. Don't kiss Israel. Don't kiss the Judaism. That Israel has nothing to do with Jesus Christ.